One of the finest American artists to take on the gauntlet first laid down by David Bowie with the Ziggy Stardust persona was an Appalachian singer-songwriter named Rod Taylor, who put out an album in 1973 in the singer-songwriter mode before taking notice of the Bowie Ziggy persona and crafting his own kind of unique take on it under the performance name Roderick Falconer. And his 1976 New Nation album was the first of two albums released in this persona. The album, produced and played on by former Procol Harum keyboardist Mathew Fisher. And from side 2, the track Born Too Late. Yeah, those very kind of arcane notes that you hear right there, that chordal structure intro, that's played by the same man who played piano on A Salty Dog, on all those early Procol songs that we know and love.
I heard a record from another day, way back when they played like the looks they traded, $1,000,000 babies, girls like melody.
Notice the nostalgic element to the lyrics.
Whatever happened to Pops? Looks like he's on the rocks of time.
Whatever happened to Pops looks like he's on the rocks of time.
Maybe, baby, we were born too late. Too late. Just when style was out of style. Maybe, my lady, we were born too late. Too late. Didn't we miss our stitches? Yeah, sweetheart.
Stitch in Time. Let's see. I love that line, we were born too late, just as style went out of style. So it seems here that he has found himself a lover who shares his affinity for times past, whether it's the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. These people are living in like a retro world together. They're lucky to have found each other, and he's trying to imagine him and his lover like in that era.
Pardon my grammar. I'd like to, sweetheart, if you pardon my grammar, I'd like to resurrect that glamour.
My heart is with you. Here, let me kiss you.
I love that soliloquy right there, the spoken word between the man and his girlfriend. That, resurrect the glamour. It's almost like out of a film noir. Very much that ambience.
Solid hero said I'm heroin. We'll play the ritzy bear. My strength, your stardust hair. I'm tough as nails, but no, my heart is gold. Don't cry, mama. All the farm's been sold. We'll get it back somehow.
I'm wondering if this is taking part during wartime.
Baby, baby, we were born too late. Just when style was out of style. Maybe, my lady, we were born too late.
those backing female vocals, which I really love, I think they really add a lot of layer to that chorus, to that just swelling anthemic chorus, that nostalgic, like almost like, you know, crying out for another era. And I can relate to that feeling. You know, I've felt that way about the 70s. A couple of groups of female vocalists are credited here. The one I'm most familiar with in the credits are the Chanter sisters, Doreen and Irene Chanter. Doreen was especially prolific around that time. She appeared on Phil Manzanera's Diamond Head album. I believe she may have been on some Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel albums. She may have sung on Panorama, I'm not sure. Just prolific around that time. They even put out a couple of albums as a duo. Let's see. She was on Sad Cafe's Misplaced Ideas album. I believe she sang on Feel Like Dying by Sad Cafe. The Birds of Prey being the other female vocal group, or the other backing, maybe that's Kay Garner, another backing vocalist credited here. Wow, quite the Kay Gardner. She was on an album by Rosetta Hightower. She sang on My Father's Gun off Tumbleweed Connection. Sang with the Mark Wirtz Orchestra, that fantastic Teenage Fair. Sung on an album by Stray, the hard rock band Stray. Sung on the first Lou Reed album. Kiki D's Loving and Free. Wow, she... and the Kiki D Band album. Wow, she's been around. And the Birds of Prey, let's see, I recognize that name, but I guess I just remember it from having seen it on the credits before. I don't know who is behind them, per se.
Baby, baby, we was born too late. Just when style was out of style. Love, maybe, my lady, we was born too late. Didn't we miss our stitches?
I love that piano fade out right there. Yeah. Produced and piano played by Mathew Fisher, who put out a great album in 1973 after leaving Procol Harum. So two great talents in the studio together with the reliable vocals of the Chanter sisters. Let's see, drums by Mike Kelly, of course, of Spooky Tooth and The Only Ones. Let's see, bass work by Harum Bingham. Let's see, not a lot of credits to that guy. Guitar by Mikkel Japp. I don't really know that name offhand, although he was on Mathew Fisher's second album. He played on the Baby's Head First album, and he played on Rod Falconer's fifth album, Rules of Attraction. I've only seen a couple of videos from that one. I haven't gotten my hands on it. He also played on Victory in Rock City, the follow-up to this. Let's see. This album, New Nation, gained a little bit more traction years later, like in 1982, when Linda Ronstadt covered one of the songs from it, Radio. The song that precedes this on side 2, actually. Synthesizers played by Ken Freeman, who, did a lot of library albums, apparently, during that time. And, let's see, strings also arranged by Richard Hewson. Tons of credits attributed to this guy. Leo Sayer, Thunder in My Heart LP, Cliff Richard's Greenlight, the Raw Band, The Crunch and Beyond, all albums that I think quite highly of. Several Raw Band records, a Catherine Howe record. Appears on Language of Love off Cliff Richard's Rock and Roll Juvenile. Oh, that is a wonderful song, yeah. Yeah, very, very full, lavish track. Plays on Mystery to Me by Fleetwood Mac. The best album they did before Buckingham and Nicks joined, hands down. Definitely the best of the Bob Welch era, and I would say even better than any of the Peter Green, Jeremy Spencer albums. Credited with vocals on Crisis What Crisis, the Supertramp album. Plays on For Gus Lee Park by Steelers Wheel. Yeah, a lot of stellar credits from the era. Yeah, so a very accomplished cast of musicians, writers, arrangers on this album and song. The song Born Too Late, a very nostalgic, mournful piece for another era. Basically a romantic, a filmophile, a 70s era filmophile, like longing for earlier times, fantasizing with the past, just sitting on a sofa somewhere, drifting off with his loved one, wishing that he and her could drift back to a more glamorous era, like the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and just getting carried away, just like I get carried away oftentimes, fantasizing about the 70s, the early 80s, wishing I could go back there. Off the album, the 1976 album New Nation, the artist Roderick Falconer. And for this and many other great albums from 1976, more than 1,700 to be exact, see the link in the description to the annotated album directory of 1976 albums for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of red listed tracks and thousands more purple listed tracks to keep all of you 1976 lovers, the curious, the newly initiated, busy for years. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.